Hello guys, so in last class we learned how to connect these shapes. So I'm gonna be re-going over that and showing you guys how to reconnect the shapes, and next class we'll be setting up the board. So, click on the right one there. Alright, so you have your faces. Remember, I want you to have 3 to 5 expressions. Eyebrows up, eyebrows down, right eyebrow up, left eyebrow up. You can do down as well, but normally one goes up, the other goes down. And then a blink, wink right, wink left, and some vowel, like word sound shapes. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to name our pieces. So we went over in class, let me just bring that up. So I just want to be able to have this be, happy face, so that when I'm linking stuff up, I can tell which one I'm linking up directly. I don't have to click on a bunch of stuff and find a shape. What was this one called? Polyshape 115 is going to link up with face, and then I got to figure out eyebrow. Like the eyebrows is another polyshape. 17 is its eyebrows. So we just don't want that. And it's also easier for the animator or the designer, game designer, to just be able to find it here. So first we need to go through and name all of our faces and all of our pieces. So go ahead and click up here, and I'm going to call this happy. So this turns down to happy shape. I'm going to call these happy eyebrows. And then you need to do it for anything that's also moving. So I think my sad top eyelids didn't move. I don't remember if I moved these, but I'm just going to name them anyway. And then go ahead and name the bottomlets. Okay. So for the faces up here, none of this mesh moved. If you want to combine some of the stuff, so if you're gonna have your eyebrows and then your blink using the same face shapes up here, that's totally fine. It's up to you. I just like to keep them separated so that I can think in my head of what everything's gonna be. But if you have a face like this, you don't need to name this eyebrows up. We're not linking these together. So we can just have that control of the eyebrows. These ones we're all going to be linking up together, so we'll want that. So I want you guys to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do this real fast, and then we'll get on to the next step. So now that we have all these named, you want to make sure that you also have these ones named too. Just, I do the normal base, so as these are happy or happy eyebrows, these are just eyebrows, top lids, bottom lids, so on and so forth. I'm also sorry if this slightly is lagging. Ever since the Windows update I just did, everything's really laggy. So now we're going to go on to connect these shapes, the blend shapes, to deform our character. So we want to make sure that we're come up here to your modeling tab and go on down to animation. And you're going to notice all these, some of these changed. And we're going to click your shapes that are all moved, all the heads off in space. Shift click. We can't do multiple, so just these ones for now. Holding shift, click on all of them, and then lastly click on your main character's face head. And you're going to go up to deform and go ahead to this blend shape and go on and click the little pull out box. else over here. So there's different stuff here. If you already had your character rigged, you could go down to pre or post, but there's an automatic option now, so we can just leave this. Go ahead and click apply. So I have all those. I like to leave this up here because then I can just keep on hitting apply. So I'm going to go ahead and holding shift, click on all my eyebrows that are moving. I can go ahead and grab these ones too. Oop. What the head? If you accidentally do that, remember you can just hold down control and click on the piece that you don't want. Go ahead and click apply. I always like to try things out as we're doing it. So if I go down and click on this blend shape input over here, you'll notice I now have my shocked face. And I did move my mesh up, so I'm going to have to move her hair. But that's okay. All of these should be working, and I'm going to go ahead and name that input that says blend shape 1 as face blend shape. Okay. And go ahead and do the same thing for the eyebrow here. Just test, make sure they are all working. Those all look good, so I'm going to name my eyebrow blend shape. Cool. And then go ahead and hook up any eyelids or eyes that you also changed. Remember, we can only do this one mesh type at a time. Also did the bottom lips. Spell for a second. And then I also changed the eyes in shocked. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Oops. Cool. So we have those now. I do need to fix her hair, so I am just going to apply the shock. Oops, hair up there so it's not in clipping through. But it still looks fine when it's done. Okay, so now we have all of our blend shapes hooked up, but our eyebrows, we would still have to, click a different thing here, right? So we want to hook these up so that they are on just the same slider. We can just use one slider. So what we are going to do is I want you to come up to Windows, go to General Editor, and then come down a little bit more than halfway and come to this Connection Editor. Yours may load up with a bunch of stuff, or it may not. What we're going to do is we're going to click on our face, click on our blend shape input. This is very important. You will not get the same settings. Click on that blend shape input and hit load left. Right. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the eyebrows here. Eyebrow. Click the blend shape eyebrow and load right. Remember, it has to be that blend shape. So you should see face blend shape and eyebrow blend shape up at the top. Now we're going to come down to weight which should have a little plus mark next to it. Go ahead and hit that plus mark and do the same thing on the other side. Now you'll see here your different faces or any mesh that you've added into its blend shape, and what we're going to do, we named them. I put show instead of shock, but we're going to ignore that. My shock face, I'm going to come over here and click my shock eyebrows. You can go ahead and hit close if you want, keep it up. And then when we go here to click on her face, and we do shock face, now the eyebrows should move with it. And I always like to test this out as I'm going along. So I'm going to go and do that again for the other ones. So going to Windows, General Editor, Connection Editor, and loading blend shape into left. Just loaded just the face. Let's try that again. There we go. And loading eyebrows into the right. Or what I like to do is I like to go all the way down through the whole mesh and just do the whole face. Sometimes it can get a little confusing because things will be highlighted as you're going through, and then you might hook up both happy and sad eyebrows to the same mesh base, and then it can get more confusing for you because you have to uncheck everything and redo it again. So let's go ahead and go through the entire face that you're doing. So I am going to grab my top eyelids, blend shape, and load that right. Open up this weight. Open up the weight for the eyelids. And if you notice shock face right now, for me at least, whichever one you hooked up should kind of look italicized. That means something else is hooked up to it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab shock face and then shock top lid. And I'm going to click on her face and move shock over. And that starts to move along with it. So I'm going to go ahead and go down her face and do the rest. You want to make sure that you are doing this in, so we read from left to right. In here, you're going to want to make sure that you're clicking on the left side first and then the right. If you look up here, it goes from to to. It means we want to click on these ones first because they are affecting these ones. Which is another good reason of why I like to go all the way down through one face. Because if you notice, the sad is still highlighting over here, and we don't necessarily want that. We don't want shocked eyes to be hooked up to our sad face. However, like sad eyebrows. But you can see here, this is still highlighted. So if you were doing this all at one time, you might not notice if I've clicked this for sad, if I've clicked shocked eyebrows for sad, or if they're still connected to the shock face. So even though this is still highlighted and I'm on sad, that's still hooked up to shocked face. So don't unclick it. You're completely fine. Just go ahead and test them both and make sure that they are still hooked up to the appropriate ones as you're going along. Okay guys, so if you have any questions, go ahead and email me. Try your best to hook these up in time for class. And if you have any questions, you can also ask them in class and we'll go over. Oh, there is one more thing. Sorry, I forgot. Say you forgot one of these blend shapes. It's okay. So we can go ahead and hook up this last one here, which is why I've created one extra head. There's nothing done to it, it's just here. But say you're like, oh man, I forgot up eyebrows. I've done everything else. It's okay. So we can go ahead and click on this and hold shift click to select our head, and we're going to go back up to deform, and this time instead of clicking the blend shape because that's already hooked up, we're going to come down to this edit blend shape and just hit add. And then when you click on that face, you'll notice that it has been added too. So it doesn't do anything, but yours will. So you can go ahead and do that. So don't worry about missing out on one of your blend shapes. You can go in and add it in later, and then go ahead into that general editor and hook it all up. Anyway, like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask or bring them to class, and I will see you in the next class. Bye.